Right. It was a lot that went into my decision. Obviously, Coach Knowles being here, that helped a lot. Obviously, I know his system. I know what he likes to do. I was comfortable in his system. I had some success. So I was granted one more year, because of COVID. My decision originally was, I was going to declare for the draft, but I felt like, one more year in college could help me develop. And, if I was going to do one more year, I wanted to do it, kind of at the highest level and, like Ohio State. So when Coach Knowles got the job, when I entered the portal, he was one of the first ones to call. So he let me know that he wanted me to come, and, I kind of let him know, that's what I'm thinking about. Obviously, I had a lot of other schools, like in the SEC and also in the Big Ten and Big 12 and other schools. But like I said, I knew his system. I know what he liked to do. So I was comfortable in it. So I wanted to, try to help Coach Knowles, build this defense back to what, it used to be, and be a part of BIA. So
how would you describe what he tries to do on defense? What will fans see in this defense that makes his defense kind of unique?
Right. It's going to be aggressive. I mean, he likes to play aggressive, call aggressive calls. He kind of likes to be a offensive coordinator on defense, kind of. A lot of defenses react to what the offense likes to do. I think Coach Knowles wants them to react to what we like to do. So that's kind of what I like about it. We're going to get in their face. We're going to send pressure. We're going to have fun back in the back end. And, I think he just likes to cause confusion. And he does a good job with that, causing confusion for the quarterback. So I think you guys are just going to see an aggressive defense. So I'm looking forward to that.
Tanner said the other day that he was even a little surprised to see that you were in the portal. He thought you were headed off to the NFL.
Yeah.
What did you feel like you still need to accomplish as a college player to make that step?
Right. I think, obviously you get draft grades back, and, I didn't like some of my draft grades. So I think me as a player, I can make a lot more plays on the ball. I mean, I've had my PBUs, but I only have like one career interception. So that's one thing I want to, try to get some more interceptions. But also, I want to try to win that championship. So that's something that we were close to doing at Oklahoma State. We were one game short away from trying to get into that college football playoff. So I think being here, just being around the guys, it's a great group of guys that is here at Ohio State, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So I think we can really get a shot at this national championship, and I'm looking forward to getting rolling with the guys during spring.
It seems like Jim Knowles is kind of is known for kind of cultivating community around defense.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, from your perspective, seeing kind of that process of him. He talked about like how he kept you guys involved at Oklahoma State in terms of what his next steps were. What was that like for you when he went through that, and when you decided to eventually kind of join his community again?
Right. Yeah. So towards the end of the season, I mean, it was obvious it was his contract year. He was either going to stay there or somebody was going to come and get him. So we obviously as players we're like, hey, what are you going to do? And a lot of coaches can just kind of keep everything to themselves, but he was pretty open about it. He was like, if somebody calls me, I'll let y'all know. If somebody offers me more money, I'm gonna let you guys know. So just having that relationship with your defensive coordinator it really meant a lot for us. Being at Oklahoma State when we were up there, it meant a lot. It let us know that he really cares about us. He knows that as football players, coaching is pretty important. So that would affect our careers too. So he took that into play, and he was transparent with us. So that obviously helped my decision too. When he let me know that he was probably going to take this here at his offer here at Ohio State. It kind of went to my head like, man, I would love to go play there with him. You know what I mean? So that kind of went to my decision to go into the portals as well.
Well, he said you were also going to be used as kind of a coach in the backfield.
Right.
Kind of the next example, explaining the defense in ways that maybe he couldn't.
Right.
How important, is that a role that you want to take on, that leadership role? Because it seems like a lot immediately for a new player.
Yeah. It's kind of, like I said, when I was a part of his defense at Oklahoma State, that's kind of what I did. Yeah. We had some guys that had been a part of the system for a while. So, being at Oklahoma State, I was kind of a coach in the back end already. So, coming here, being asked to do that, it's kind of a smooth transition, because that's something I've already done. So, I look forward to helping the guys in any way. They've already, been asking me questions, about Coach Knowles and about the defense, and I've been transparent with them as well. So, I've already been building good relationships with guys on the defensive side and the offensive side. So, I think getting into the spring and competing with them is going to be fun.
How have they responded, to the what you've told them?
Right. I think they like. A lot of the guys, I haven't been here obviously, but I guess they've been through a lot of coaching changes already. So, you know, it's nothing new to them having to learn a new system, I guess. So, they've been a part of a lot of different defensive systems, so they just kind of want to know, you know, the basics. You know, what does he like to run? So I think they're kind of just excited to get around the coaches. You know, now that they're all back, I think they're just excited to get around the coaches and get a feel for them, and you know, see who's going to be coaching them for the next 10, 11 months.
But Tanner, you bring the experience, having worked with Coach Knowles on that side and been in that program for several years. But now, what have you done to learn Ohio State? You've watched the games from this past year. What have you learned? And also, to double back on that, what did you see that maybe wasn't great here on the defensive year? But what did you see that concerned you?
I think one thing, obviously I watched the tape, you know, when I was in the portal, you know, doing my research and things like that. But one thing I did see is there's a lot of great players here. I mean, there's great pieces. I mean, I wasn't here, so I don't know why. I guess the defense wasn't as successful as they wanted to be. But the players, I don't think that was the problem. I mean, they have really good athletes here, really good players. I think, you know, Coach knows what he's planning on doing. You know, he's going to evaluate who he has here, you know, evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the players that are here and see where he can best use them, you know, and that's kind of what he did when we were at Oklahoma State, and I'm sure that's what he's going to do here. So just watching the tape, I mean, all I can really say is, you know, we got great players, and I think Coach knows is going to put them in the best situation to be successful.
Building on that, it seems like in his defense, he likes flexible. He likes guys that can be multiple positions. I'm guessing you probably see that in some of the athletes.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of guys that I see can do different things. You know, different body types, different styles of play. You know, Coach Knowles has, you know, even my position. My position is kind of a versatile position, covering and, you know, even sometimes fitting in the box. And then, you know, there's a Leo position he has on the D-line that's pretty flexible. I mean, he likes guys that can do different things because the offense is going to try to throw different looks at you. So, you know, we got to be able to throw different looks at them as well. So I think, you know, like I said, he's going to evaluate what he has and try to use it to the best of his ability.
Who's a guy you've seen on video you think could fit that Leo position? Who's a guy that's jumped out at you? Maybe you know his name, maybe you know his name.
I've been working close with Stover, K. Stover. So I'll have to say him for right now, just because I've been working with him in the weight room and things like that. He seems like a guy that's, you know, gritty and, you know, likes to get after guys. So I can see him doing something like that. Like I said, I'm not the coach, so I don't know what he's going to do, but I guess I can give you that.
But Terry, you've been on the back end of that defense. I mean, you've also watched video of games after games and stuff. What does that Leo really upset offenses? I mean, the way he moves them around, A-gap 1 minute, edge the next, dropping in the zone. I mean, what just stands out about that spot? How do you see it kind of fitting in here?
I think it's just it's versatile, and it's like a splash play position. You know, we had two guys play it when we were at Oklahoma State. One was a freshman All-American, and one was first-team All-Big 12. And both of them split time, and both of them obviously had success. I think one of them had like 11 sacks, the other one had 9 or 10. So they're just splash players. And as a defensive back, you know, I want them to get pressure on the quarterback. So, you know, anything Coach Knowles wants to do to get pressure on the quarterback, I'm cool with. So.
Can you see in a play, though, as you're sitting back there on the backside, can you see in a play Leo having an effect on that immediate play? Where does it kind of show up? Do you see it in the quarterback's eyes? I mean, do you see it? Do you hear shouting going on the other side?
Yeah, I think, you know, a quarterback, his job is to, you know, check the front, make sure everybody's blocked up. But, you know, if you got a guy moving around, you know, you don't know where he's going to land. So it's kind of hard to, you know, check your front to make sure, you know, everybody's blocked. You know, there's a guy moving around. So I think that's probably where the confusion comes in. You know, he lines up in different spots, he moves around. So, you know, it's hard to check a front, you know, when the guy's always moving. So that's probably what I'd say.
I asked Coach Walton here yesterday, the other day, I said, what stood out first time you met Coach Knowles? What stood out about most? He says his intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you agree with that? I mean, is he on another level in that regard?
Yeah.
How does it show up, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, he's an Ivy League guy, you know, so obviously you gotta have some brains to, you know, be in the Ivy League. So, you know, that's kind of one of the first impressions I had too when I was at Oklahoma State. He's really deliberate in what he wants to do, and you know, sometimes he tries to explain things to us, and you know, we're not kind of on his level as far as intelligence. So when he's explaining it, I'm like, man, can you dumb it down for me? You know what I mean? So, he's a pretty smart guy. We called him a mad scientist up there, just because kind of like how he likes to explain his defenses, and he likes to have a look for everything the offense can throw at you. So,
Tanner, what are your first impressions of your new secondary coaches here?
Oh, good. You know, I met Coach E and Coach Walt. Both of them, you know, great experience with great players. Coach E was at Cincinnati, you know, had 2 really good corners that he just produced this year, probably both going to be draftable guys, first-round guys. And then, you know, you got Coach Walt, who has experience playing here and experience in the NFL with guys like Jalen Ramsey. So I think for me, you know, coming back for 1 more year, being able to get developed under those 2 coaches is going to be fun.
With Gary specifically, obviously, Jim said you need to explain the defense to the players.
Yeah.
Is that something that you need to, or like he's expecting you to kind of bring the coaches along too because there's difference, or what is that like?
Right. I mean, I don't know about coaches just because, you know, I think the coaches, I mean, they're smart too. I mean, you know, they've been around the game, so I think Coach Knowles is going to do a good job explaining to those guys. I think maybe one thing I can do is kind of, from a player standpoint, having you know, did some of the things that he's going to ask him to do, I can kind of break it down, you know, the techniques that he wants to use, things like that, to the players.
What's your impression of the safety room? You've got a tremendous player in Josh coming back from surgery. You got a tremendous player in Rose Bowl, break the leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got some guys that are still trying to get right to the back.
Yeah.
So when you forecast to the fall, what do you see that safety room looking like?
Yeah, it's a lot of guys that can play ball back there. Like you said, Josh, you know, he got injured. Lathan, you know, I worked with those guys. He got injured as well. And then, you know, it's safeties like Court and, you know, Rocket, Ronnie Hickman, and, you know, even Cam Martinez. You know, I've been around a lot of those guys, and we've worked out together, obviously, and got some work in together. But I think versatile is how I explain that room. You know, we got some guys that look like linebackers, but, you know, can move like a safety or move like a corner. So that's really good, you know, to be versatile back there. So I think we got a lot of guys back there that can play a lot of different positions. So, you know, obviously we got to get in the spring and, you know, get in the fall and see where the chips land and see where everybody wants to play. So I think, like I said, that's going to be Coach Knowles' job to evaluate talent and, you know, see where everybody, you know, lands as far as position-wise.
With those 3